had fun, learned a lot. And then I turned to one of my favorite books and all-time best movies ever made. To paraphrase William Goldman, life is pain. Anyone who says differently is selling something. For those of you who don't know which movie that is from, your diplomas are waiting for you in the gym after the showing of The Princess Bride. So, all kidding aside, William Goldman should have been an open school student, as he had a grasp on what it meant to leave our comfort zone, live a life we didn't expect, and yet find the faith, hope, and love within the journey. The chronicles of Wesley and Buttercup are often mistaken as a love story, a fairy tale, but when we examine it through the looking glass of reality, some multiple truths make themselves known. Wesley left the comfort and the love he knew at the farm to not only make his way in life, but to find out what he had to offer the world, which is what you're doing today. Today is the day you are leaving the security of all you've known before and heading out into the unknown with hope. Journeys into the world often don't go as we expected. There are storms and losses, and employers who may not say it out loud, but will make you feel like, well then, I may kill you in the morning. There will be many times you give up hope, such as when Buttercup gave up Wesley for dead and decided to go on with her life. It didn't feel right, but she didn't know what else to do, and there wasn't a better decision to make at the time. Life is too often about making hard choices without enough information. Other things are vital too, especially given that you are open school students and where you can find yourselves. You may confront rodents of unusual size and fire swamps, and those who are actively trying to block you from succeeding in your quest. It may not be a six-fingered man, but the world beyond open school will not have your best interests at heart. And yet, finding those good friends in unexpected places will make the struggles and burdens you bear so much easier. Learn to fight left-handed, not only for the skill and the knowledge, but for the fun and the challenge. And always remember that in the end, it is the showing of mercy and compassion that is the most vital. When facing down your giant, hold on with both hands, even when it's easier to let go while taking your beating. Take those little sips of poison, so that if the day comes when you have to choose your cup, it doesn't matter. You're immune. And most importantly, dive in head first into the quicksand after what you love most. In the end, after all the struggle, the losses, the pain, and being mostly dead all day, rise. Stand firmly, because you are an open school student. And whatever your adversary, you will face them down, and you will walk away the victor with the faith to leap into whatever it is your new future holds. The story concludes not with, and they lived happily ever after. Instead, while the grandson was sick in bed and the grandfather finished reading the story, the boy asked if he could come back tomorrow and read it again. The grandfather replied, "As you wish." This phrase was what Wesley told Buttercup instead of, "I love you." And so the story concludes with love and a mystery. We do not know if there is a happily ever after. And when we look at their struggles, their battles, their pain, their joy, their love, and their faith, we know that it would be unrealistic to assume such a statement. And so my wish for you is not happily ever after, but that at the end of your adventures, that you will look back instead and say, and I lived. Happy graduation.
Thank you, Jenny, for those inspirational words. Next in our program, we have a staff performance by our own highly effective bluegrass boys, Mark and Kurt. This legendary duo has been around for about 1 year and has played in exactly 2 previous venues. You can order their highly acclaimed introductory CD after the ceremony. So please welcome the highly effective Bluegrass Boys.
Check. Hey, there it is. There it is. There it is.
I want to say this is what happens to us at Red Rocks all the time. Is that on? Alright, so I'll move left. So I just want to blame Brad as I start to tear up. I want to say that for those of you that knew Cody, we planted a lovely liver pine for him and Garrett. We planted a really nice, good swap. All right, try it again. For those of you that knew Cody, we planted a really nice limber pine for him on the east side of the building yesterday, and so if you want a moment to just quietly reflect, it's a really nice place to go. So after the ceremony, some of the time, hopefully that tree will be there for a couple hundred years, and it was a nice thing, and thank you, Fred, for mentioning that.
And on that line, I just want to tell you that we're not supposed to be here. We're the backup of the backup band, I think. This spot in the ceremony was supposed to be Melissa. And you need to know that the graduating class chose Melissa as their staff speaker this year. And I know that we recognized our administrators earlier in the program, but it's not enough. This class, bless their hearts, was a particularly difficult class to graduate. And I want to say that our administrators do so much for us that kids sometimes, and certainly parents, don't know. Alicia interviewed me a couple weeks ago because I think she wanted to talk to the oldest person on staff and wanted to do it before I'd completely lost my memory. She asked me, well, what's different now than it was when you started? And one of the things that's different was when we were up in the mountains, the cop shop was right next door to us. And there were never police in our building. In the 5 years that I worked there, I can't remember an officer ever coming into our building. And now, sadly, it's almost a weekly occurrence. And our administrators protect us from all of that. They are the interface with the most difficult parts of the community and the job, and they allow us to spend our time focusing on kids. And last year was probably the most difficult year of Scott's life. And this year was a particularly hard year for Melissa. So watch out, Alicia, next year. But they kept coming to work every day, and they did the job every day. And that deserves some real recognition. So I want you guys to stand up and be celebrated again. And I know you hate it, but you've earned it and you deserve it, so please.
As is going to be clear to you in a moment, it's not uncommon when I play in public for people to ask me about the stability of my day job. And this year I have 4 graduates: Andrew, Caitlin, Kate, and Jackson. You guys have made this the best damn day job anyone's ever had. Thank you so much.
Let's get around to a little music, but first, credit where credit is due. This song we're going to play was first played in governance about 30 years ago, and some of you, whether you admit it or not, were there and will remember. Dan McCrimmon wrote it, came into governance and played it, and this year, when he came into the building, all of a sudden just popped back into my head, and so I started playing with it, and when Melissa was unable to do this, we went to the graduates and said, well, okay, what do you guys want to do now? Because our staff speaker is unable to do this, and they all just sat there, and Joey Thompson went into the corner of her mouth said, Kurt! And the rest of the graduates were horrified and didn't say anything. So I said, all right, I'll do something. I'll rope Mark Osmond into it coming up here with me, and I'll do this. But this goes back to Dan McCrimmon. He wrote this, and we heavily modify it, and we did play it for the talent show, and so Andrew, of course, said, you already played that! So Andrew, I want you to know that we have heavily modified the lyrics by changing at least 2 words, so that was for you. So Mark has been telling me now for about a week that I need to enunciate my words, so I'm going to try that. We'll see how it goes, and the bad news is that without reading glasses, I can't see any of that. I'm not putting them on, so no. I don't know by now. And I want to say that at one point, Roberta said, well, we should stretch this a little bit. It's going to be a short ceremony. And I was just saying, no, let's get this over. But this is a particularly poignant song for your class in particular. I just want to know that. This group has tested our patience. They've tested our ability to work with sleep deprivation. They've tested our ability to consume caffeine. And as a testimony to that, I've been doing this now, final support group meetings, for 32 years. And so I've done a lot of them. And yesterday was the first day that I went to one, and after a beautiful 3-hour meeting, looked down, and I didn't have the diploma because I'd forgotten it, and it was still on my desk. So that's the kind of year it was for me. That was a poignant way for the last graduate this year to have their final support group meeting conclude with their diploma actually not being at the meeting. So that's how that went. So this is a perfect song, I think, for you guys. All right?
Flash drive in the wash, memory is clear. Back on the bus, gone for good here, so I got no homework today. Car broke down and I missed the bus. Car broke down and I missed the bus. Oh, my car broke down and I missed the bus. Won't be in school today. Stayed up late playing video games. I got Facebook photos I gotta maintain. Didn't get a bunch that shows insane. I got tickets for the concert today. The alleyway is calling me, I gotta go skate. Out with my friends on an early lunch date. Dancing because I'm late is not my fate, so I won't be in class today. Car broke down and I missed the bus. Car broke down and I missed the bus. Oh, my car broke down and I missed the bus. Won't be in school today. The alarm went off, but I wanna sleep. It's a walkabout day. It's the key if I don't get up before I dig his teeth. But my logical passage ain't coming along. Transcript deadline come and gone. Research paper is a paragraph long, and my meeting was yesterday. 2 passages to do, 2 sweet. If I don't get them done, my advisor's gonna break. Wanna graduate by the end of next week, but I won't be in school today. Car broke down and I missed the bus. Car broke down and I missed the bus. Oh, my car broke down and I missed the bus. Won't be in school today. alarm goes off and I lift my head. If I wanna graduate, I gotta get out of bed. It's now or never, that's what my advisor said. So my car broke down, but I made the bus. Gotta get to school, it's diploma or bust. Doing my work cause I know that I must. And I was in school today. Yeah, I was in school today. My passage is wrapped and my transcript done too. Ceremony in the comments, wanna be there with you. My final support group meeting was a dream come true. So my car got fixed, I don't need the bus. You can count on me and me you can trust. I had it all along, why do such a fuss? And I was in school today. Yeah, I was in school today. Yeah, I was in school, I'm nobody's fool. Don't call me a tool and I wanna be cool. So I was in school today. Yeah, I was in school today. So I'll graduate today.
Alright, there we go. Now we would like to recognize our honorary diploma recipients. Each year, the graduating class recognizes the contributions of special mentors from the community by honoring them with an honorary diploma. We are so grateful to each of this year's recipients for their countless hours of hard work, for their dedication to their program, and for their thoughtful gifts of their time. Please refer to your program to read about each of the recipients. We would like to ask those of you who are here to stand up as your names are called and to stand as a group while our graduates present you with our honorary diplomas. We ask that you hold up your applause until the end so that all names can be heard, and our recipients please remain at the front of the audience until all of the diplomas are awarded. Thank you. Colin Andrews.
Cecily Babish.
Sam Cox.
Will Devine.
Elizabeth Fallhaber.
Gatan Farshi.
Grace Jenks.
Lizzie Laurie.
Helen Neal.
Clayton Norman.
The Pastori family.
Con Quinn.
Caitlin Reed.
Ben Robinoff.
Lauren Sandifer.
Divine Senyo.
Martin Walsh. These individuals enrich our program in more ways than we could ever express. These awards represent only a small token of our appreciation for their continued support of our school. Graduates, please award the diplomas. And let's all please give them another well-deserved round of applause.
We had an extremely successful year in theater, so Tom can come up here. We have a gift for him from the theater community. As we come closer to the grand finale of our program, Scott Bain will address the class of 2017 one last time. Scott has been principal for the past 7 years. Prior to that, he was the assistant principal, and before that, he was an advisor. Scott loves to spend time with his family, ski, river raft, read geeky education books, and take long romantic walks on the beach. I think I'd swipe right on Tinder. Unfortunately, he has little or no time for any of that. Scott is the first person in the building in the morning and the last person to leave at night. His dedication to the school and our philosophy is admirable. The class of 2017 and the entire school community wants to thank Scott for his stalwart efforts to support each and every individual, whether student, staff, or parent. Without further ado, we invite Scott up here so he can begin with his robocall mantra. Hello, Open School community. This is Scott, your principal.
Tom saving me there, because if I had to hold that, you'd see how much I'm shaking. Despite doing this every year for the past 7 years, I still get nervous when I have to come up here and talk. This is an important group of people, and so getting it right matters, so it makes me nervous. Let me begin by saying that I'm always humbled and honored to have the opportunity to speak with each graduating class from the Open School. These are amazing people that I get a part of sharing their lives and their journey at the Open School, and I feel honored for that privilege. I also want to take the opportunity to thank all the families of our graduates. As your students' first and most important teacher, your role in getting us to this place cannot be understated, so thank you for all you've done for our students. This is truly a community endeavor, and I want to congratulate you for the success of each of these students and the experience that they've had. Mark Twain is often quoted as having said, and I paraphrase, "Never let schooling interfere with your economic utility." Indeed, we believe that it is incumbent on us to help students be the best person they can be. We seek to educate the whole child, such that education is engaged in a pursuit of making the world a better place. Such an education is akin to employing the leave no trace ethic, to leave the world better than you found it. The preface of the 5 goals includes a seemingly innocuous statement, "to be able to." Thereby, embedded in the school's mission is the idea that students learn to be able to create the world that ought to be. That's profound. The obvious question then becomes, how do we provide educational opportunities that empower students to create a better world? To this end, let's explore the idea of creation. To create is to be an artist. By definition, to create means to bring into existence by a course of action or behaviors. Thus, if students are to be empowered to create the world that ought to be, they must be exposed to, gain experience with, and become competent in the act of creating. Therefore, the pedagogy of a school designed to achieve such a goal must provide unlimited opportunities for students to create. The most obvious place to provide such opportunities is in empowering students to create their own education. And while this may be self-evident to these graduates, many students leave high school without ever having had the freedom, the trust, or the opportunity to create an education of their own choosing. John Taylor Gatto, who is a 3-time New York State Teacher of the Year award winner, who turned educational critic and author of Weapons of Mass Instruction, said, "Nobody gives you your education. If you want one, you have to take it." In order to graduate from the open school, each graduate has had to come to terms with this reality. In the execution of the 6 passages, these students have to grapple with many questions that are seldom, if ever, asked at most schools. Case in point, the creativity passage, dedicated to the act of creating. This passage is designed around the concepts that students are able to understand and then articulate their own creative process. While the educational establishment is new to the idea of a growth mindset, for 40 years the creativity passage has been based on the assumption that the ability to create is not mystical or a natural gift possessed by just a few. It is a process of generating ideas, planning, solving problems, and making changes. In the end, when wrapping the creativity passage, students come to know themselves as they must be able to articulate the how and the why of their own creative process. The creativity passage is just one example of the countless opportunities that students have to navigate in order to determine their own true nature. It is through the experience of goal setting, overcoming obstacles, celebrating achievements, and honestly self-assessing that students do become self-directed. During a ceremony dedicated to the stamping of with the official seal of the open school, and thereby making official the transcript of each graduate, I'm afforded the opportunity to hear their stories about coming to terms with the realization that nobody would be giving them their education, that ultimately they would be responsible for creating it themselves. What struck me most about their stories was that while the means to getting to that end were as varied and unique as the students who sit before you now, the outcome was actually surprisingly similar. And yes, pages are hard to separate when you're shaking. Frankie talked about her transition from DSA and her wilderness trip experience. For her, she talked about taking ownership of her education and being involved in a process of embracing the unknown, letting go of the familiar and accepting the journey. Zaina spoke eloquently about self-acceptance. Through her global awareness passage and her bench passage, she was able to explore her history and culture in a process of accepting herself for who she is, not for who she's expected to be. For Jet, it was about personal growth. Jet had a turning point where he realized he was not living the life he wanted or intended to lead. From that moment forward, Jet's open school experience was focused on becoming the man he wanted to be through physical, emotional, and intellectual growth. During Ella's meeting, she described her uniquely divergent nature of all 6 of her passage. One might call her a Renaissance woman, as she created a rich educational experience of seemingly unrelated topics in the arts, sciences, and political activism. Hannah talked about achieving her personal best through sports and leadership, while Mandy and Sedona told stories of perseverance and overcoming challenges. Every student had something meaningful and personally powerful to say in this conversation, and they described their process of taking ownership and thus creating their own education. In the end, what struck me most about these graduates' stories was how similar that outcome was. Ultimately, what each student described was a process of being engaged in a quest towards self-actualization, the pinnacle of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. According to Maslow, self-actualization occurs when you maximize your own potential by doing the best that you are capable of doing. Interestingly, to become self-actualized is an act of creation. Indeed, students who engage in a process of becoming self-actualized are inherently able to create the world that ought to be. As you embark on the next phase of your life, Remember, as John Dewey said, education is not preparation for life, it is life. At this moment in history, we are in deep need of those who seek to leave the world better than they found it. Therefore, it is critical that you take the skills that you have gained during your time at the Open School and employ them in an act of creating the world that ought to be. And with that, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce to you the graduating class of 2017 from the Jefferson County Open School.
Zaina and Token.
Mandy Rose Applegate.
I want to say thank you to Scott and Melissa and the entire staff, Kurt, Miranda, Kelly, everyone who helped her through this journey. This is my last baby to graduate, and I'm just so happy. Thank you.
Andrew Uriel Blanco.
Michaela Indigo Brightsman.
Grail Elistis Chappelle.
I just want to say thank you to JCOS and especially Kurt and Jenny, and I want to say to you, son, that I will do my very, very best to remain as the advisor that you need and hopefully want for your lifelong journey, and congratulations, and I love you.
Frankie Chappell.
I just want to give a huge thank you to Kurt for being the best advisor I could ever ask for.
Congratulations, Frank, and to all the parental figures out there. We did it!
Mason Nathaniel Dill.
Seamus Dudney.
I want to say thank you to the Open School community for teaching me to love myself and the world around me.
Connor Drew Fogg.
Thank you, Open School, and we're very proud.
It's been a journey and a big adventure. We're so proud of the young man he's become, and that's because of everybody here in the JCOS community. Thank you.
Sedona Julia Agnes Franks Hankins.
I'd like to thank the school for creating me as a person and for building my siblings. And for creating the siblings that I know they will make beautiful, amazing people.
I want to thank the school for giving us the opportunity to not give up and not fade in the background.
Kevin Dennis Giblin.
We're very proud of Kevin, and we just want to thank everybody for their support, all the advisors, all the staff, and especially Kurt and Roberta. Thank you.
Alyssa Bryn Gorman.
Alyssa was very well named because Alyssa means joy. And she's given myself and our family endless, endless, endless hours of joy. And I hope the rest of her life contains lots of moments of joy as well.
Kristen Ray Henderson.
Thank you, Open School.
Jaden Reed Hutchins.
Ben Kessler.
Thank you, Open School. Thank you, Scott and Melissa and everybody.
Asher Vanderpool, Joseph Lockram.
I just want to say thank you, Open School. I remember bringing this little kid here in second grade with big tears in his eyes. And now I'm the one with tears in my eyes, and it's because of you that we have this amazing.
Sarah Anastasia Malone.
I didn't know I was supposed to prepare something, but isn't she lovely? Congratulations.
Zachary Charles Nazarenas.
Thank you, Open School.
Jet Fetter Pruitt.
I just want to say really quickly, as kind of the end of a family's era at the school, one quote speaks specifically and very powerfully to me from Nicholas Stano. "The search for truth beyond our senses and our current understanding as the pursuit of beauty of the as yet unknown. Beautiful is what we see, more beautiful is what we know. Most beautiful by far is what we don't." Thank you.
Hannah Catherine Robertson.
I just want to say it takes a village to raise a child, and thank you so much for being my village.
Frank Lucas Rush.
Thank you, Benjamin.
Skylar Jade Ronke.
We'd just like to thank the open school community, and especially Jenny and Scott, for everything you guys have done for Skylar and for our family. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Caitlin Autumn Schneider.
Todd Dean Shepard Jr.
Tori Swartwood.
I just want to say thank you to everyone at the Open School and all my past advisors. It's been a journey. Thank you.
Gabriella Teddemore.
On behalf of the Oldham and Teddemore grandparents, congratulations, Briella. She never gave up. She never surrendered.
Daylin Teddemore.
Joey Madeline Thompson.
I just want to say real quick, Joey, how proud of you we all are and how honored me and Kenzie are to be your sisters.
Jackson Tristan Pastori.
tell Jackson how proud we are of him. This was a particularly hard year, and I'm especially grateful for this community. I graduated from here 26 years ago. Cody was my adventure passage, and thank you for holding us up for this year.
Shayna Diane Ventimiglia.
On behalf of my brother and I would like to say, whoop whoop. Ike Gabriel Weber.
I just wanted to thank my advisor, Kurt, because I really don't think I would be able to graduate without him, so thank you so much.
Isabella Leland Wegener.
We just wanted to thank this entire community. You guys became our family the day we discovered you, and I'm so proud of this one. She discovered her voice when she got back to the open school after leaving for a little while. And she also had a baby and is graduating a year early. I'm proud to call you my daughter.
John Henry Wilson.
We want to congratulate you, and we all certainly stand in awe. And I think I speak for John's entire family and probably this whole room in thanking the open school community for their always open, honest, loving, and nurturing environment, for making it always a place of learning and growth. May you always exist. May we always exist.
I got a few things to say too. I got to say thank you to my friends, Kayla and Isaac Jones, my family, my mom and dad up here, and all you guys back there, and the JCOS community, especially Jacob, Kurt, and Dave. You guys are like the best people ever, of all time. I'm so lucky because life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. So, Hakuna Matata, live long and prosper, and may the force be with you.
Mary Allen Wise.
I'm here to represent the whole village. Congratulations, Mary.
Tristan Dane Wolf Larson.
You, my son, my friend, you blow me away every day. You inspire me all the time. Thank you.
I regret to announce that this is the end. I'm going now. I bid you all a very fond farewell.
Ella York.
I want to thank the Open School for giving me the courage and the space to continuously reinvent myself and leave you all with the parting words to be excellent to each other.
Party on, dudes.
This brings our ceremony to a close, but not the celebration of our graduates. Drinks and refreshments are available on the lunchroom thing. Yeah. We thank you all for coming, and for one final time, we celebrate the class of 2017. Congratulations to all the graduates.